Have you ever felt like the world is slowly pushing you away as you get older? Friends become distant, family members less patient, and social invitations fewer and far between. It can be painful to feel overlooked, especially when you still have so much love, wisdom, and experience to share. But what if I told you that some of this distancing isn't just about them? It might also be about you. Aging is inevitable, but loneliness doesn't have to be. The way we interact with people, the habits we form, and the mindset we adopt all shape how others perceive us. In this video, we will explore 6 key reasons why people might start avoiding you after 70, and more importantly, how you can prevent or even reverse this trend. Stay with me until the end because understanding these insights could transform the way people see you, ensuring that you remain a cherished presence in their lives. If you find these insights valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with more content on Buddhist mindfulness, aging gracefully, and living a fulfilling life. Now, let's dive in. Number 1, the weight of negativity, why it pushes people away. As we age, it's easy to accumulate grievances. The body aches, the world changes too fast, and old friends pass away. Life, in many ways, seems to take more than it gives. It's understandable to feel frustrated or even disheartened. However, while these feelings are natural, constantly voicing negativity can be emotionally draining for those around us. Imagine a grandchild visiting their elderly grandfather, excited to share their latest school project. Their face lights up as they describe their hard work, the late nights spent perfecting every detail, and the pride they feel in their accomplishment. But instead of encouragement, they are met with a long monologue about how terrible the world has become, how schools aren't what they used to be, how young people lack discipline, and how everything is getting worse. The grandchild's enthusiasm fades. Over time, they might start visiting less often, not because they don't love their grandfather, but because the encounters leave them feeling drained and unappreciated. This phenomenon isn't limited to family interactions. Friends, caregivers, and even casual acquaintances may begin to withdraw from frequent complainers. Negativity is heavy. It takes an emotional toll on those who listen. People naturally gravitate toward those who uplift them, not those who bring them down. If we wish to maintain strong relationships as we age, it's essential to be mindful of how we communicate our frustrations. Our brains are wired to focus on negative experiences more than positive ones. This survival mechanism, known as the negativity bias, helped early humans stay alert to dangers. However, in modern life, this bias can lead us to dwell on hardships while overlooking moments of joy. Over time, constant complaining can reinforce negative thinking patterns, making it even harder to find happiness in daily life. Studies in psychology suggest that those who frequently express gratitude and optimism tend to experience lower stress levels, better health, and stronger social connections. By actively shifting our focus from what's wrong to what's right, we can improve our own well-being and the quality of our relationships. One simple but powerful way to combat negativity is through a daily mindfulness practice. Each morning, before starting your day, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is one thing I am grateful for today? This simple practice rewires your brain towards positivity. It could be something as small as a warm cup of coffee, a kind word from a friend, or the beauty of the morning sunlight. By consistently focusing on gratitude, you cultivate a habit of appreciating life's blessings, no matter how small. This shift in mindset not only enhances personal happiness, but also makes interactions with others more uplifting. Next time you feel the urge to complain, pause and consider an alternative. Instead of saying, young people today don't respect their elders, try saying, it's wonderful to see how technology is helping young people learn in new ways. Instead of dwelling on physical discomfort, share a positive memory or express appreciation for a small joy. Conversations that foster connection and warmth will draw people closer rather than pushing them away. By consciously choosing optimism, we not only improve our own quality of life, but also strengthen the bonds with those around us. The weight of negativity can be lifted, one positive thought at a time. So, how can we ensure that our wisdom is received in the way we intend it? One simple habit change can make all the difference. Before giving advice, pause and ask yourself, would I want unsolicited advice in this situation? If the answer is no, consider waiting until they ask for guidance. This small but powerful shift fosters respect and encourages deeper connections between generations. When people seek advice on their own, they are more open to hearing different perspectives. Instead of feeling burdened by imposed wisdom, they feel supported in their decision making process. Waiting to be asked also allows for a more reciprocal exchange. Rather than simply imparting knowledge, you are engaging in a conversation where both sides feel heard and valued. If you feel a strong urge to share advice, consider phrasing it in a way that invites discussion rather than dictates action. Instead of saying, "You should do this," try, "When I face something similar, this is what helped me. What do you think?" This approach acknowledges their autonomy and encourages a collaborative dialogue. By being mindful of when and how we offer advice, we create an environment where wisdom is welcomed rather than resented. The goal is not to withhold valuable insights, but to share them in a way that nurtures relationships rather than creating distance. In the end, the most meaningful advice is that which is given with respect, consideration, and an open heart. Number 3, the fear of change. Why resistance creates distance. The world is evolving at an unprecedented pace. Technology, social norms, and even language have changed drastically compared to previous generations. Smartphones have replaced landlines, digital transactions have overtaken cash payments, and social media has transformed the way people connect. While these advancements bring convenience and new opportunities, they can also create discomfort, especially for those who have spent much of their lives in a world that operated differently. For many older adults, the rapid changes in technology and culture can feel overwhelming. The natural response to unfamiliarity is often resistance. It's easy to dismiss new trends as unnecessary or confusing. However, this resistance can create an invisible wall between you and younger generations. When you refuse to engage with change, you risk isolating yourself from the experiences, conversations, and ways of thinking that shape the modern world. Why resistance creates distance. Change is a natural part of life, but resisting it can lead to frustration and isolation. Younger generations have grown up with smartphones, streaming services, and a digital-first world. When an older adult says, "I don't understand why people spend so much time on social media," it may come from genuine confusion, but to a younger person, it can sound dismissive. Over time, repeated resistance to change can create a communication gap, making it harder to relate to family members, friends, and even society as a whole. Imagine a grandparent who refuses to use video calls because they prefer traditional phone calls. While their preference is valid, this resistance may limit their ability to connect with grandchildren who primarily communicate through video. Similarly, a refusal to learn about digital banking might make financial transactions more difficult in an increasingly cashless society. The more you resist, the more distant you become from the evolving world. Instead of resisting change, embracing curiosity can bridge the gap between generations. A simple shift in mindset from saying, "I don't get this," to, "That's interesting, tell me more," can make a significant difference. When you approach new ideas with an open mind, you invite younger people to share their experiences and perspectives. This not only strengthens relationships, but also keeps your mind engaged and adaptable. Curiosity allows you to learn at your own pace while maintaining meaningful connections. It's not about becoming an expert in every new trend, but about showing interest in the things that matter to your loved ones. For example, if your grandchildren enjoy a particular video game, asking them to explain it can lead to a bonding moment. If your children use a budgeting app, showing interest might introduce you to a tool that makes financial management easier. Next time you encounter something unfamiliar, pause before dismissing it. Instead of saying, "I don't understand why people do this," try asking, "Can you explain why this is popular?" By embracing curiosity, you'll find that change isn't something to fear. It's an opportunity to grow, connect, and stay engaged with the world around you. Number 4, expecting too much without giving back. Why relationships need balance. Relationships thrive on mutual effort and understanding. However, as we age, it's easy to fall into the trap of expecting too much from others while giving little in return. This imbalance can strain relationships, leaving both sides feeling frustrated and unappreciated. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward building healthier, more fulfilling connections. Love and companionship require effort from both sides. Whether it's a relationship with a spouse, children, grandchildren, or friends, balance is essential. When one person constantly gives while the other primarily receives, the relationship can become emotionally exhausting. Older adults, in particular, may sometimes expect their family members to visit frequently, call often, or provide continuous care and attention. While these expectations are understandable, they should be met with an awareness of what is being given in return. Are we expressing gratitude for their time and presence? Are we making an effort to understand their lives and challenges? Relationships are not just about receiving love and support, they're about actively contributing to them as well. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to maintain balance in relationships is through gratitude. Gratitude fosters connection and appreciation, reminding both parties of the value they bring to each other's lives. When people feel appreciated, they are naturally more willing to invest in the relationship. Instead of expecting constant attention or care, older adults can cultivate a habit of acknowledging and thanking their loved ones. This doesn't require grand gestures. Small acts of appreciation, such as a heartfelt thank you, a kind note, or even a smile, can make a significant difference. Daily gratitude practice, a simple way to give back. A practical way to integrate gratitude into daily life is by adopting a gratitude practice. Each evening, take a few moments to reflect on someone who has been kind, helpful, or present in your life that day. Then, send them a small message of thanks. This could be a short text expressing appreciation for a visit or phone call, a handwritten note acknowledging their kindness, a simple verbal thank you, accompanied by a warm smile. Not only does this strengthen relationships, but it also shifts the focus from expectations to appreciation. Over time, this practice fosters deeper connections and encourages loved ones to continue being present in a way that feels natural and fulfilling. Relationships flourish when there is balance, when love, attention, and kindness flow in both directions. By practicing gratitude and ensuring we give as much as we receive, we create an environment where relationships thrive. Rather than expecting constant attention, embracing appreciation fosters deeper, more meaningful connections with those around us. Number 5, living in the past. Why over-romanticizing the past creates distance. The past holds a special place in our hearts. It is a collection of cherished memories, lessons learned, and defining moments that have shaped who we are today. However, while reminiscing about the past can bring joy and nostalgia, over-romanticizing it can create a barrier between us and the present world, especially in our relationships with younger generations. When someone constantly brings up the past, especially in a way that suggests it was better than the present, it can create distance between them and others. This is particularly true in intergenerational conversations. Young people want to share their current experiences, ideas, and aspirations. If every conversation turns into a long-winded history lesson, they may lose interest and feel unheard. This issue is often seen in older adults who feel disconnected from modern trends and long for the good old days. While there is nothing wrong with nostalgia, making frequent negative comparisons between the past and present can make younger individuals feel as though their experiences are being dismissed or undervalued. Additionally, excessive nostalgia can prevent personal growth. If someone is overly focused on the past, they may struggle to embrace change, adapt to new situations, or appreciate the opportunities available in the present. Over time, this mindset can lead to feelings of isolation, dissatisfaction, or even regret. Striking a balance, how to keep conversations engaging. A key to maintaining meaningful connections while sharing memories is to balance nostalgia with curiosity about the present. Instead of solely reminiscing about the past, consider engaging in a two-way dialogue that invites others to share their own perspectives. For every past memory shared, ask about the listener's present experiences. This keeps conversations balanced and engaging. For example, instead of saying, "Music was so much better in my day," "Today's songs lack soul," try saying, "I used to love listening to vinyl records. What kind of music do you enjoy?" Instead of saying, "We had real friendships back then, not like today's social media relationships," try saying, "I remember how important friendships were to me. How do you and your friends stay connected? By framing conversations in a way that bridges past and present, we create space for connection rather than division. Nostalgia can be a powerful and enriching experience when shared thoughtfully. By recognizing the value of both past and present, we can maintain meaningful relationships, stay engaged with the world around us, and appreciate the beauty of every moment, past, present, and future. Number 6, not respecting boundaries. Why overstepping pushes people away. Respecting boundaries is a fundamental aspect of healthy relationships. While love and care are essential in any connection, they do not grant us the right to overstep another person's personal space, emotions, or autonomy. Overstepping boundaries, whether through constant messages, unannounced visits, or the expectation of unlimited emotional availability, can create discomfort, frustration, and even resentment in the other person. Boundaries serve as invisible lines that define where one person ends and another begins. They help establish mutual respect and a sense of security in relationships. When these boundaries are ignored, it can make the other person feel suffocated or disrespected. No matter how well intentioned our actions may be, failing to honor someone's need for personal space can damage the connection we seek to nurture. Some common ways people overstep boundaries include calling or texting excessively without considering the other person's availability, expecting immediate responses and becoming upset when they don't happen, showing up unannounced at someone's home or workplace, demanding constant attention and making the other person feel guilty for needing time alone, insisting on knowing every detail of someone's life, even when they are not comfortable sharing. At its core, disregarding boundaries often stems from insecurity, fear of abandonment, or the belief that closeness means constant interaction. However, true closeness is built on mutual understanding, not pressure or intrusion. When people feel that their space is respected, they are more likely to engage in the relationship willingly rather than out of obligation or frustration. If you tend to overstep boundaries, the first step is self-awareness. Ask yourself why you feel the need to constantly be involved in the other person's life. Are you afraid of being left out? Do you equate love with constant proximity? Recognizing these underlying feelings can help you address them in a healthier way. To cultivate healthier relationships, consider the following. Pause before reaching out. Before calling, texting, or visiting, take a moment to consider whether the timing is appropriate. Ask yourself, is this a good time for them? Respecting their schedule and mental space demonstrates care and consideration. Communicate openly. If you struggle with boundaries, have an honest conversation with your loved ones about their needs. Ask what makes them feel comfortable and what feels intrusive. This can help set clear expectations and prevent misunderstandings. Accept their no, without pressure. If someone declines an invitation or needs time alone, respect their decision without guilt-tripping them. Understand that their need for space is not a rejection of you, but a way to maintain balance in their own life. Develop your own independence. Clinging to someone else's availability may indicate a lack of personal fulfillment. Engage in hobbies, friendships, and interests that give you a sense of joy outside of your relationship. The strongest relationships are those where both individuals feel free to be themselves without pressure. When you respect others' boundaries, you show that you value their comfort and trust, which ultimately strengthens the bond between you. In the end, respecting boundaries is not about distancing ourselves from those we love. It's about allowing the relationship to thrive in a way that feels safe and fulfilling for both parties. When we honor each other's space, we create a foundation of trust, appreciation, and genuine connection. Aging doesn't have to mean isolation. In fact, it can be a time of deepening relationships, strengthening connections, and finding new ways to engage with the people we love. As we grow older, it's important to be mindful of the habits and mindsets that shape our interactions. By actively avoiding negativity, we create a space where love and companionship can flourish. Offering advice wisely, only when asked and with kindness, helps maintain mutual respect. Embracing change allows us to adapt to new circumstances without losing the essence of who we are. Giving as much as we receive fosters balance in relationships, ensuring that we are not only supported but also supportive. Balancing past memories with present experiences helps us cherish our history without being trapped by it. Finally, respecting boundaries allows for healthier, more fulfilling connections where everyone feels valued and heard. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these principles do you find most meaningful? Have you experienced the power of any of these in your own relationships? Leave a comment below and let's continue this conversation. If this message resonated with you, be sure to like and subscribe for more wisdom on aging, mindfulness, and relationships. Until next time, stay present, stay connected, and cherish the moments that truly matter.